What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and I'm back with brand new progress toward my upcoming Avengers Infinity War custom LEGO minifigure showcase video. This time we're covering Scarlet Witch and the Vision. So it has pretty much been a week of working on these two. Scarlet Witch featuring the same costume from Civil War. However, I decided to make an entirely new figure because I just not only wanted to have a separate figure, but I really wanted to improve upon the original one that I made a couple years ago by basically retooling the design, and instead of just doing black lines throughout the outfit, or in the case of the Civil War figure I did no detail at all, actually have red highlights running throughout the entirety of the figure to make it stand out more, and I think it turned out looking really great. A lot of people wondering why I decided to go with the Black Widow face. It's actually Jyn Erso's face from Rogue One. That's where it originally came from. It didn't really work too well on Jyn Erso, but definitely much better for Black Widow. Regardless, I'm not going to be using it on my Black Widow, so that's why I decided it would be okay to use it on Wanda. But you were probably also wondering, why didn't I just paint the face like I did for Civil War? Well, first of all, that face was pretty bad. And this hairpiece, obviously encompassing the entirety of a minifigure head, really just does not accommodate a painted face. No matter how much I drill out the inside of the hairpiece, no matter how much I sand the interior of it, it just, for some reason, will always end up one way or another chipping a piece of the painted face off no matter what I do. And that's kind of why I don't really take the hairpiece off of the original all that often. And so I wanted to avoid that by using an actual printed face. I went through the catalog of every female face LEGO has ever printed, and I landed on this one. I repainted the lips, and I think it worked out pretty well. The entire hairpiece is also painted to match that new lighter color, and I think that turned out pretty great. The painted torso, again, featuring all new updates to the design, making it a lot more accurate and just in general a lot better. And again, painting those laces across the zipper, that was pretty fun, but once again ended up looking pretty cool 2 years later. And the legs are so simple that they're honestly not even worth showing in this video. You'll see them in the actual showcase video, but a pretty straightforward minifigure, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. Vision, however, is almost a completely different story, just with the same underlying premise of wanting to improve upon the original and thus creating a separate figure. For Civil War, I decided to not remake the figure and just basically have my Age of Ultron, like my original Age of Ultron Vision, in there as a stand-in figure. He was my first ever stand-in figure. There are going to be a lot of those for Infinity War, as I've mentioned on social media. But back to the point, it was outdated even in 2016 to use my 2015 Age of Ultron Vision, because not only was that figure really, I mean, the colors were all, the base colors were off as it was, but it was also, the design was incredibly simplified. I don't know what I was thinking when I made that figure, but it just all around was not that great. So this time, 3 years later, my second crack at making the Vision, I pretty much reworked everything. Most notably, my decision to go with a sand green base color for his entire body. That was based off the airport battle. I decided to focus on the Civil War airport battle as my main reference for that color choice, because Vision was obviously in nothing but pure daylight, and there's really no debating that his synthetic body is really more of a sand green than it is a dark green, so I'm pretty happy with it. But the rest of the design is based off of quite a few things, most notably the Age of Ultron Vision, while also making sure that it was accurate and up to date with not only his Civil War appearance, but his Infinity War appearance. He does not change across the 3 movies. Trust me, now that I've studied the reference, I can confirm that Vision has stayed almost completely the same. And so I absolutely cannot wait for you to see the final version of this minifigure in the showcase. A couple other things I do want to point out, though. You might notice that his ears, kind of, they're not really ears, but they're kind of like things that stick out from the side of his head, little bits. I actually did make those protrude just a little bit by use of some targeted sealant, and I think that that precision use of the sealant really benefits this minifigure, because of course that is accurate to how they look in the movie. And so I think that, and so that's one of my favorite parts of the minifigure for sure. And then the cape, I decided to keep much more simple this time around and not go too crazy, because I'm not gonna lie, man, I really want to move on to War Machine now that the home stretch of making all these figures is in sight. So that is it. But I did actually change the head on Doctor Strange. This is something I kind of wish I did back in 2016 when I first made this figure, because while the painted face was really cool, I was looking at LEGO's official Doctor Strange head and just kind of wondering, come on man, like why didn't I use this face? I mean, a simple repaint of the eyebrows and the beard really make it look exactly like Benedict Cumberbatch, and so I put up a poll on Instagram and everybody agreed that that was the head I should stick to and update the original 2016 Doctor Strange, who is for the most part a stand-in minifigure now featuring an updated head. So, on top of that, I did update Hawkeye as well, and I came to the decision in this past week that I will not be making an entirely new Hawkeye minifigure, because as it stands right now, we don't know what Hawkeye is going to look like in Infinity War or in Avengers 4 if he makes it to Avengers 4. Assuming he does, regardless, we don't know what he looks like, just his hairstyle from the Vanity Fair cover where they were all wearing either their most recent costumes or just to celebrate the Marvel 10-year anniversary, they were wearing just random costumes from the MCU, so I'm assuming that that's probably not a good indication that he will be wearing his Civil War suit in Infinity War. However, I think we at least have reason to believe that that's how the hairstyle will be in Infinity War. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to make a new Hawkeye figure because, for one, we don't really know what his suit is going to look like outside of that Vanity Fair cover and some set photos where Jeremy Renner was trying to cover up his new costume, and he pretty much succeeded. But I decided, okay, I really wouldn't change much from my Civil War Hawkeye, but since it's really all we have to go off of for potentially making him before the movie comes out, I'll just use the same body, because I really wouldn't change anything about that figure. So instead, I decided I would just do the new hairstyle, and everybody on Instagram agreed. Because of course, this would also allow me time to actually make War Machine and the figures that do have new costumes and are in the marketing for Infinity Wars. So I took a sleepy hairpiece, I took a drill bit to the sides of the hairpiece, I sanded them down, painted it up, and I also painted the sides of his head as well, and I think that it ended up looking really cool. There was an alternative hairpiece that I was considering, which was a Lego Batman movie Bruce Wayne hairpiece just with the sides sanded down, but like 80-something% of people agreed that this was the hairstyle to go with, and this is also not the final face. In the Infinity War showcase, the minifigure will be sporting a much better face than this one. This is pretty much just a placeholder. I will have to repaint the sides of the head on the new one, but I think you guys are gonna like it. So, finally, to end it on a boring note, I gave my Guardians 2 Nebula a baton. Because apparently she doesn't use the pistol as much in this movie, and she uses like a baton thing, so I got her that from Minifig Cat. But that concludes this update video. It didn't really seem like you guys had too many pressing questions in the last video, so I think we're going to skip that for now. However, I do want to address that I do care about the Black Order, and I am looking forward to finally seeing them in Infinity War. It's just, I don't know that I am going to make them is all, and so I think I was a little harsh in saying I don't care. I do. It's just when there are other characters I want to make, like Killmonger and Okoye and Ant-Man and the Wasp and other projects that I may be doing, like finishing the Justice League after all of that. I mean, it's just at the moment I can't really see where the Black Order would fit in, considering how incredibly complex and difficult they would be to make and how long that would take as well. And I'm not sure how interested everybody would be or how interested I would be in doing so, you know, a month or two after Infinity War. We will see. I do care. It's just, I don't know yet. And so, one final update as to where I'm at right now, what is left. I have to start on War Machine, Black Widow, and possibly Ant-Man. Ant-Man will probably end up in the Infinity War showcase. I am just not 100% sure yet. I'm more like 60% sure. Even though there's only like 25 days left and my family and I are moving out of this apartment in 11 days, I'm still deciding which figures are going to show up in the video or not. That's how close I'm cutting it. But yeah, so I'm going to be working on War Machine while my buddy Andrew over at AV Figures cooks up some super awesome parts for the Iron Man Mark 50, Thor, and Black Widow, along with a couple other things that you will see in the Infinity War showcase that he is going to be providing for me to paint up, and it's going to look super awesome and complete the entire set of minifigures, and so I cannot wait for you to see that. But of course, you can see all of it over on my social media long before you even see them in these making of videos, so definitely check that out if you're interested, because not only do I post all kinds of preview photos of the minifigures long before you see them here, but I've been getting some great feedback from those of you who do follow me over there through some polls as to what face I should have used for Doctor Strange, like I mentioned mentioned earlier in the video, the hairstyle for Hawkeye, you guys have helped me out tremendously in making some of those creative decisions. So not only do you see the figures over there first, but you can also help me make certain decisions with the figures when I can't. Or when I'm just incredibly conflicted or whatever. So I think on that note, that is it for this video, guys. I am going to go ahead and finish up that Hawkeye head along with starting on War Machine tomorrow or today, because I'm recording this at like 12:30 a.m. So today I'm already working on War Machine. Probably I still need to make a Bricklink order to actually get the face mask, and so it should be pretty great. I'll see you next time. My next video is probably going to be the Tron Legacy Light Cycle review, so that should be pretty awesome. That set looks really cool. I'm going to go. All right, I'll see you. Progress toward my upcoming custom minifig. No. What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and I am back with